things I do find fascinating about the Yu-Gi-Oh! Duel Links metagame is that Mermail is completely different. You have cards such as Abyss Land and Marksman who are actually incredibly powerful in this format. And so I thought I'd take the power upon myself to make a Duel Links Mermail deck profile for the current metagame because a new set released with Coral Dragon. I thought I would update it IRL with some fancy schmancy ultimate rares because, you know, that's my specialty. And our skill of choice for this deck through the magic abilities of editing won't be Maximilian Pegasus, but will instead be it'll be the Labyrinth Builder skill. This skill basically lets you shuffle back 2 cards from your hand into the deck to special summon a Labyrinth Wall, which is a level 5 vanilla monster, and it has some pretty decent defense, so I'll actually show the card here as well. But we're basically using this monster as a means to synchro summon because it has a pretty appropriate level for some of our synchros. So without further ado, let's get into this profile. Starting us off is the best monster in the deck in terms of starting because you just need Teus plus a water monster to get all of your combos going to search Lind or to search Pike or even Turge. So with Teus, really pretty card. I don't think anyone can deny that. It's a level 7 monster, works really well with Diva to make any of your level 9 synchro monsters, being 2,400 defense. It also acts as a pretty considerable shield. But like I said, the main goal of him is to discard, let's say, even Gun, just to get some of your plays rolling a turn 1, or even turn 2 if you lose the coin flip, to go second and hopefully OTK the opponent. We're only going to be playing one Abyss Megalo. Abyss Megalo is here to act as an OTK machine. It also has some pretty high attack already, since we're not running the equip spell in this variant. However, the ability to tribute a monster to attack twice is something that we just cannot pass up, so it is a very good card to play in our deck. And to accompany the one Megalo, we do have the one Abyss lead. He is here to summon off of Limb because 2,700 attack without any alterations is really powerful, especially during the opponent's turn. Also, if you were to hard summon him, you can also bring back your spheres to help in the grind game. This rounds up all of our level 7 Mermail monsters, and to move on to the smaller ones, we do play the 2 copies of Mermail Abyss Lind. Honestly, this is like one of my favorite Mermail monsters just because she used to be one of the central core parts of the Mermail deck back in 2014 or 2013 when it came to mono Mermails, as piloted by Jeff Jones and Billy Brake. Lind, if it's destroyed by battle or card effects, summons any Mermail from your deck, including your Abyss leads, to offer some help with OTK, because during your turn you can crash the Lind and summon a Megalo or a lead out to do basically the same thing. So 2 of her, you don't need 3. 2 works perfectly fine. For the other cards to help get some of our plays going, we have 2 Abyss Pikes. Now you can summon this off of the sphere directly to discard, let's say, an infantry to help get some disruption going during the opponent's turn. However, you can also summon this during the end phase after your sphere destroys your Lind to keep it on the field to use it with your Diva to go into a level 6 synchro, such as Coral Dragon. Very decent card. This card mainly searches your Abyss guns, but it can also search your Marksman. The last level 4 Mermail monster we play is one the Abyss Turge. This card is really good for bringing back specific resources during the grind game, because this deck is incredible when it comes to grinding back in 2012, 2013, and in Duel Links with a completely different format, with a limited card pool and different meta. The grind and the OTK part, you really get the best of both. We have 2 Mermail Abyss Gun, which is our main combo extender. This card paired with basically most of your synchros, with your Pike, with your Turge, with your Megalo, or even your Teus or lead, can just start reviving a bunch of high-level Mermails to attack and OTK your opponent. This rounds up the entirety of the Mermail engine, which is half the deck. And to really get us started off with our main normal summon, we do have the 3 Deep Sea Diva. This card actually came to 3 in Duel Links a lot sooner than it did to the TCG. And Diva lets you special summon any Sea Serpent that's level 3 or lower. Now, we do not have Neptibus the Atlantean Prince, nor do we have Atlantean Dragoons. In Duel Links, we only have Marksman and Infantry, but that's perfectly fine because Infantry lets you get an additional normal summon. So if you have 2 Divas, you can just go into some really high-level synchro monsters. And if not, you can still use your Marksman to help poke some damage and special summon another Infantry or a Diva out from the main deck. Being a level 2 tuner, she has some incredible interactions with the Teus to go into your level 9 synchro monsters. And she also works really well with your infantry, or even just her by herself to use your skill to get 2 tuners to go into your Corian Gandrix. Now to help round off the rest of our monsters in the deck, we have 3 infantry, 2 effects, an additional normal summon for a level 4 or low sea serpent, and if it's into the graveyard to activate a water monster's effect, you can target one face-up card in the field and destroy it. This card has a lot of uses in the terms of combos as well as breaking your opponent's boards. Finally, 2 marksmen. You can honestly play 3 of this card. It's such a great card, but because of our specific choices and how we want to play the deck, 2 marksmen works perfectly fine to just either help poke for some damage or even just combo off going second. Moving on to the spells, we actually only run 4 spells. 2 of these spells are salvaged because you can recover any of your sea serpents as well as your guns and even your lens from your graveyard back into your hand. This helps you get more cards into your hand after you finish using your skill, Labyrinth Builder, because that removes 2 cards from your hand. So Diva plus your skill, which means your Diva plus 2 random cards, is basically a combo for Corian Gandrix, and salvage helps you replenish some of those lost resources. Because of our versatility when it comes to going first or second, I found that Enemy Control is a really cool tech card to play. Now, the cool interactions with Duel Links, for those who don't know and are just here for the pretty cards, you can only play a max of 2 semi-limited cards in your deck and only a max of 1 limited card in your deck, and that leads to some pretty interesting deck building. Enemy Controller has some great options to help block your opponent's attack, but it can also be there to help use your opponent's monsters as material for your synchro summons and even stop them from their plays entirely. And in my opinion, one of the best cards in the entire deck is the 3 Abyss Sphere. This card works so well in the grind game, being able to summon out as many lens as you want, or even leads, or even pikes to disrupt your opponent. It really is a core and integral part of the deck. Just a free way to tutor out any Mermail monster from your deck and help get your plays rolling. Even gets the lead into the graveyard, so you can use your gun during the following turn, or even with pike that turn to just target the lead and revive it. It is a really pretty card, and if you couldn't tell, you actually have the Abyssland in the artwork. That runs up the deck. I'm going to go ahead and switch it over to the extra deck. Now, when it comes to Duel Links, you only have a maximum of 6 cards in your extra deck, and so the choices you choose really do reflect how you want to play as a duelist. So for this build, we're playing entirely synchros, no fusions. I mean, I don't know if that's obvious yet. I think Exceed monsters are coming very soon. But to start things off, let's talk about the low-level synchro monsters, and for this we have our level 4 Haster, and we have our level 6 White Aura Dolphin. Haster is level 4 that can basically be summoned using your Diva plus your infantry, and this lets you act defensively against certain things your opponent can do. This can basically nullify your opponent's monster's effects and their attacks, and if this card is sent from the field or from the equip to the graveyard, you can take control of the equipped monster. When it comes to White Aura Dolphin, this is a bit more tricky to summon. However, you can use your pike that survives during your opponent's turn and use it with your Diva to go into a monster that keeps on coming back no matter how many times it's destroyed, as long as you have the required water monsters in your graveyard to banish to revive it continuously. Also, during your turn, you can target an opponent's monster and have its attack, which lets you run over some pretty beefy monsters. Move these to the side. And let's take a look at some of our mid-level ones. We have a level 6 plus a level 7. Coral Dragon's really good as a new card. You can basically use it just like Aura Dolphin. You can discard your infantries, or you can just discard your marksman to help pop some stuff. And if this card leaves the field, it is a tuner, so you can use this plus, for example, a marksman to go into your Vermilion mech. You can draw a card, and you can also destroy another card with Vermilion mech. So this is a really cool card to have. I actually really prefer this over Gungnir and even over Brionic, just because you get the extra power from using your skill, which removes cards from your hand. This just puts stuff back in there. Black Rose is a 1-card combo with Diva when it comes to using your skill. Basically, Diva plus your skill, you can use Diva's effects, summon whatever, even an infantry. Make the Black Rose Dragon with your level 5 Labyrinth plus your Diva to pop the entire board. For the powerhouses, we have Vermilion Mech plus Corian Gandrix. This is very easy to summon. This is a monster you can just use with Coral Dragon plus a Marksman, which is, Diva plus your Pike. Diva summons Marksman, and you have a bunch of OTK power. I believe the damage itself is 4,100, and so that's pretty neat. Also, almost all of your monsters float when they're removed from the field. Dolphin floats, Haster floats. This card adds any banished tuner, and this card special summons any banished monster in general. So really good, powerful monster. This is summoned using Diva plus your token. A lot of these cards use the same essential combos with your Diva. Anyways, and so Corian Gandrix uses a Diva plus your token. Diva summons Diva. Use 2 tuners plus your Labyrinth World. Summon this. Banish 3 cards or 3 monsters from your opponent's field and their graveyard. Doesn't destroy, just targets. And so this is really good for blowing up your opponent's field. And just to wrap up the entire thing, I'm going to put out the deck in full Duel Links fashion. There you have it. This concludes the IRL Max Rarity Duel Links Mermail deck profile. I hope you guys enjoyed it. And if you guys want to stick around for the entire journey with water stuff, why not consider subscribing? I enjoy everything Mermail and water related, especially when it comes to high rarity physical cards. And so if you fancy looking at the physical cards versus stuff online like digital simulators, then I think this might be the place for you to stick around for a bit.